Right then, road trip. Today, what is today? 30th of December. So we've got Christmas and stuff done and dusted and all out of the way. Speed bump. So that's all cool. But last night I had a text message from a mate of mine at work. He's got oh hello. Run! Right, so I had a text message from my mate. He's got, we both work at the same place, both welders, and speed bump. Basically, he's recently bought himself a bike. He's been watching the channel and stuff like that, so he's got himself a bike. Ooh. Speed bump. Yeah, he got himself a bike. He's also got a very spanky Chelsea wagon, which speed bump. Give me 1 second. Speed bump. A really bad road. Right. So he's got himself a Chelsea tractor, which is just the most expensive thing on the planet to run. And he's also got this bike. Anyway, he hasn't had it very long. But his Chelsea tractor's gone and got all, you know, it's all gone a bit Rita Hayworth on him, and he's got to get it fixed. Okay. So yeah. Straight, right. So anyway, he's got to get it fixed, which means he needs to raise a bit of money, which means the bike has got to go. Which is a bit of a shame really, because I know he was really looking forward to it. But the bike is sound. He sent me some pictures and stuff, offered it to me at just stupidly cheap money. So I'm going to have a look at it, and I'm probably going to come away with it. Because it's a Bandit. It's a Bandit 600. I don't know what year it is. It has been monkeyed with a little bit. Somebody's tried to do the whole Street Fighter thing. But it's a runner. It's got an MOT and stuff, which is way better than the pup that Steve-O bought, because that was a right bag of nails. The one that Steve-O bought hasn't run in 6.5 years. So I don't know if that one will ever see the road, but it is going to get a full-on engine tear down and everything else. The bike we're going to see and possibly get now will probably be my daily driver. I've got the van, and it is dead good, and you don't get wet, and you stay nice and warm, and you can cart stuff about, and all the rest of it. But it's not a bike, and I do miss a bike, and I haven't got one on the road at the minute, and I want one. And worst case scenario is if it has got issues, and it's all not very good. So yeah, but if it does turn out to have major issues and everything else, then I'll just chop it up and make a cafe racer out of it. It's options, isn't it? But for the money, I mean, it only owes him 400 quid. So I thought, well, and you know, it's all he wants for it, so why not? Why not indeed? And the engine alone is worth way more than that. Looks like all the frame and stuff has been recently sorted. It's painted purple, so it looks a bit like a big bruise. But that's just a paint job. But everything would appear to be sound on it. I think he's had some new carbs fitted and it's all been rejetted and stuff. I think he's put pod filters in, I'm not really sure. He did send me some pictures. And he's been going on about it for weeks at work. I know he likes it and stuff. And it apparently runs well and all that kind of malarkey, so we shall see. But yeah, might be getting a new bike. Not sure if it's a project bike. I do want it to be a daily runner for a little while at least. That'll just be a good way of checking it out and making sure everything is as it should be, eh? So that's where we're going. See, Steve-O went out a little while ago and he bought himself a project bike, which we are going to be doing. That's the next project up. And I've gone and done the same thing. Basically, I've got a message off my mate yesterday saying I need to get rid of the bike so I can fix my car, because he's got a Chelsea tractor that's just, it's not happy. So he just sold me this, 400 quid. It's not bad, is it? Not for 400 quid. Don't get me wrong, there are bits that need attention. But basically what I've got is a Mark 1 Bandit, so 600, 1997, can't remember how many owners, doesn't have an MOT, but it does run, it's all running, and I've got a few other bits and pieces as well, which I'll show you in a sec. It's just things like, you know, there's rusty bits on it, the engine's been painted badly, the carbs could definitely do with a clean, and the setup. It runs, but you have to fiddle about with the choke to keep it running. It's also got the world's loudest exhaust, which I will show you in a second because it's about that long. But all this has been freshly painted. All the frame's been painted. Mudguard, tank, seat unit. Why you would paint it to look like a big bruise, I don't know. I think he had, from the bits that he's bought, I think he had plans of making this a cafe racer. But it's more street fighter than anything at the minute. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, the tyres, there's a bit of meat left on this. Well, the back one is fine. Not so sure about the front. The brakes are definitely binding. Like I say, it doesn't have an MOT, so it does need to have a good fettle. But with very minimal work, I think, this thing could be on the road. So for a while, this is going to be my daily driver. This is just going to be my commuter scoot. What's that hanging down? Oh, see, there's a few bodges to it. But anyway, let me give you a look-see. Right, so I'm not sure how much of this you're going to see because the light is terrible. Starting at the front and basically working our way back. Purple calipers. And they do need stripping and sorting. I think it's got braided lines to it. All comes up through a splitter there. So obviously some work has been done. It used to be red. You can tell from this bit because that bit's still red. So the frame has been painted badly. A little bit of rust on things like the headlamp brackets and obviously the nut for the headlamp and all that kind of stuff. Stupid little indicators. The light is one of those that's got, is like a blue ring as a running light on low beam. But the wheels look alright, they're not chipped or dinked or anything else. The forks look okay. A little bit of surface schmoo going on, but there's no pitting or gouge marks or any of that sort of malarkey really. Couple little marks, but they'll probably just dress out. He's got stock headers on the engine. They're starting to tarnish up a little bit. 4-into-1, and the exhaust is just ridiculous. All cooler and engine has all been repainted, as you can see. There are a few little marks and grubbiness going on, but that's, you know, I'm really not too fussed about all that sort of stuff. Everything works on it, all the lights, blah blah blah. It has got 64,387 miles on it, so it's had some going, like all these indicator, you know, the instrument cluster lights and all that stuff just has seen better days. Switch gear is pretty horrible, but it's all standard. The tank, the front mudguard, the seat unit, all that lot has all been repainted, and this was done really recently, so the finish on it is lovely. Really, really good. There's no need to change any of that. The swing arm is a different story. It has got a bit of a dink in it here, and it has been hand painted. Bit of schmoo going on in there, just everything looks really dry, really dry. is obviously the centre stand is gone. It's got the world's most stupid little exhaust on it, and it is loud. But basically that's just a straight through, straight through pipe. It is noisy as a noisy thing on National Noisy Day. Rusty bolts on foot hangers and blah blah blah. The carbs, oh hello, what's going on there? There we go. Okay, so the carbs have got like a little bit of oxidisation going on. I mean, all that will just clean up. What happened is he had, there's another set of carbs over there I'll show you in a minute. But basically when he first got the bike, the fella who sold it to me, it was running and everything else, but one of the carbs was just peeing out fuel. To me, it sounds like one of the float needles is stuck, or maybe, the float has got a hole in it and the float's just sunk in the fuel or whatever, but it's just pouring fuel out of it. So rather than sort anything out, because I'm not sure how, technically minded or anything he is, he just went and bought another set of carbs. So I've got a spare set of carbs over there as well. So get a service kit on them, and I've got some spare ones, which is sweet. The rear caliper is also purple and it's sticking, so pushing it along, obviously the back wheel is dragging, and it squeaks like anything, but it has just kind of sat there for a couple of months not doing anything. It all needs pulling apart and a damn good fettle and everything else. Battlax BT46s, loads of meat on this. Well, they just haven't been used, look, barely a scuff mark on them. So the rear's nice and new, can't say the same about the front, but still looks like legal tread and everything else. So it's had a new rear tyre. All the headers and everything else look stock. There is bits of wiring hanging down here, there and everywhere. A couple of the drain hoses are tucked up where they shouldn't be, but this has got the basics of actually a really good machine. A really good machine. So this is all the other stuff that I've got with it as well. Right, just right off. Where's me? Give it a quick scrub, see what's what. I think Jack did have plans, because he's been watching the channel, this fella that I work with that bought the bike. He bought it off a fella that he's known for God knows how long, like years and years and years. Lives just down the road from his mum. That has all just come off. There is nothing wrong with this seat. Like nothing wrong with it at all. It just had some mucky marks on it. So I'm probably going to be using that, because it is sort of cafe style-y. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, it's new, look. You can tell from the underside, it's just like brand spanky new. So that's ideal. Awesome. He's obviously bought a seat hoop. What a lot of people do is just buy this bit, chop the frame off, stick a slug in each end and weld it on. And it's got holes in the back of it, filled with foam, and one of those strip LED brake light combo things. Can't use these anymore, as we know, because the distance between the indicators is basically yay much. So that ain't legal. So we ain't going to use the tube and we ain't going to use this, so that is basically in the bin. Originally it was street fightered. I think Jack put that front headlamp on, which he got off eBay, and this is what it had on it originally. They work. I mean, it's it's bulbs, it's not LEDs or anything, but we might have a use for them. I could set them up in here just as lights. And these are the other set of carbs. So totally stock carbs. They are grubby, and they could do with a damn good clean. What I might try, I want to have a go at vapor blasting, which is essentially the same thing as shot blasting. It's just the media you use is baking soda. It's really, really fine, and it basically just cleans. It doesn't take surface material off it basically. Cool, you can smell the fuel in them. All the slides open and close quite happily. There is no big nut and bolt and everything else welded onto an adjuster. They just need a strip down and a clean, I'm sure. Somebody's obviously done something because they're marked 1, 2, 3 and 4. So they've obviously been apart at some point. It's just, I think they've done just like either a bad job or maybe, I think it's this one, number 3, which is peeing out fuel. So it's probably something as simple as, you know, the needle valve on the float is like chewed up, or it's not seating properly, or maybe the floater's got a pinhole in it. So obviously it's taken on fuel and it's lost its buoyancy and it's just sunk, so the valve is permanently open. But if you look inside, I mean, you know, it's nice and clean in there. There is a bit of debris and smooth where it's just been sitting. Yeah, and it all moves, it's not stuck down. So I think these just need pulling apart and cleaning. So I've got a spare set of carbs, which is ideal. So we're going to get an ultrasonic cleaner sorted. So these will all be coming apart and getting done. That'll be a future video. But I'll probably just do these as a standalone thing. But no, it's all intact, everything is here. Sensor's just been chopped off. What's that? Throttle position sensor, I guess. Yeah, that's just been chopped out. But there you go. So yeah, Mark 1 Bandit for 400 quid with spares. No idea what this is. What's that? It's still in the packet. I've got no idea. Haven't got a Scooby, but they might come in handy. So yeah, I'm quite chuffed. Right, I'm officially chuffed with this. I think this is a good buy. For the money that I paid, I don't think I could have done any better. Basically, I've got a bike. Okay, it doesn't have an MOT. It does have a V5. There is no paperwork history to it. All right. So basically, it's part of your money. You get the registration and the bike. That's it. But that actually sits quite well with me. I'm not too fussed. The bike's 1997. So, you know, it's kind of limited on the market to be available to anyway, I suppose, or appeal to, unless you're prepared to get the spanners out and start tweaking stuff. The work it needs is actually really minimal, really minimal. It's all just cosmetic stuff. You know, there's a bit of flash rust in here and there, there's a few nuts and bolts that need to be changed. You know, they've spliced into wiring and just a bit of a tatty job here and there, basically. There is a little bit of corrosion, you can see, you know, sort of on the levers and stuff, but it just rubs off. There is a tiny bit of surface rust on these brackets, and obviously the headlamp, you know, the brackets that hold the headlamp on, but it's just bits and pieces really. So with very little effort, we could have quite a tidy little commuter scoot basically, which is important because this summer, well, okay, at the minute I haven't got a bike of my own. I had to sell my bike to sort the business out and various other bits and pieces. So I haven't got a bike, so this is going to be my commuter scoot. It just means that, you know, I don't have to use the van all the time, and if I want to go out on a ride then I can do, which is cool because I do miss it. It is going to need a little bit of fettling. I need to go over it from front to back, make sure everything's safe. I need to sort the brakes out, strip and service the calipers, to change a bit ropey, that could do with replacing. There's plenty of meat left on tyres, I think, although the front one is going to need to be replaced soon. Forks need cleaning, just stuff like that, routine stuff. It starts, it runs. The carbs do need to be sorted out because at the minute you have to muck about with the choke, but again, it's all pretty minimal stuff really. There's nothing to it. And I ain't really fussed about what it looks like. I don't care if it looks like a big bruise. Yeah, it's all, the bodywork's fine, so why change it? Why go to the expense of changing it? There's no need at all. So we're going to go over it from front to back, make sure it's safe, get it for an MOT, and then I'll tax insure it and shove it on the road, and this is going to be what I'm riding. I also want to ride it. I've never had a Bandit before, so this is my first one, so I don't know what they handle like. I don't know what the pros and cons are, or quite what you can do with suspension, or how you can change it, or any of that stuff, and I need to know because this is the make and model bike which we've chosen to do an awful lot of the projects out of purely because of their availability. So I want to know what they go like. and what you can do to change them basically. So I think having one for the road is going to be a good move. The next project is obviously the pup that Steve-O bought. We've got no idea even if the engine's going to work on that one, because it's going to need completely stripping down, but we've got no idea. The frame and running gear is all GS1000 from like 1979, and it has so seen better days. There's holes in it like this in the frame. So that frame may well be junk. So, you know, what I might end up doing to make my own frame jig is taking everything off this, because it hasn't been dropped. There's none of the little telltale marks and stuff that says it's been dropped. But we may well be using this frame to set the jig up. Who knows? But it's good to have a spare bike that you can just pull apart and do all that stuff with, right? So anyway, I wanted to do a quick video and let you know what I've done. Yes, I could. Yeah, it's just a shame it looks like a big bruise. I might have to call it Tyson. What is it with me and naming stuff? But anyway, that's it. That's my bike. Yeah, I don't really think there's much else to say about it. But, you know, stay tuned, see what happens, and we'll take it from there. Anyway, have a very, very, very happy New Year. I hope you'll get hammered and you feel very fragile the following day, because I'm going to be back at work the following day. So I can't do any of that. But anyway, best of New Year's to you. I hope it all goes well, and we'll see you again real soon. Later.